All right, this is going to be a short one. I just want to go over some of the changes I made yesterday. The first one was, I think in the last stream, I was talking about switching over to the SDK, and I did that. I got that working. A couple of things to say about that. You need these scopes to use it. That's in the documentation. I was going to test later if I need all three of those or what. Right here, I have this commented out. I tried importing the script just in the HTML, and that did not work. So I followed what they did in the tutorial, and I'll get to that in a minute. This next track, previous track play, all the like track functions, I moved those out, I think again, up into the player page. Same with this function, so I didn't have to pass it down. The player page, so a few things here. This is stuff I got rid of, but I'm gonna go over, I guess how it worked before I get rid of it. So use effect, that's used to connect the script up that I was trying to import in the HTML, and to set these listeners. Basically, if you go to next track or you pause or anything like that, this event will trigger, and then this function will run. And it'll get you the current track that's playing, and that was working. One thing, and this is like basically code directly from the tutorial. Two things I had to do is I had to, this is also from the tutorial, you have to add like a section to, we don't have to, but there's a section to say, you have to activate the device. And in this case, the device is actually like the web page, which is something I didn't really want. So the device ends up being like the web page. So you go into your Spotify, and then you click down here, and then the device will be showing there. So I didn't really like how that's set up. Um, that was one of the things. Another thing is it had some issues, like it wasn't like, I don't know, there were some delays and some lags. Maybe that was temporary or whatever, but didn't work as well as I would hope. And what else? Yeah, I added the current track here on the player that came from this piece of state, which is here. This is what they had in the example, and they based it on this track variable. I didn't see where that was coming from, so I just set it to undefined, and named it with a different casing. Anyways, so yeah, that was working. It was displaying the current track. It wasn't the track, you know, the previous track, like I was having an issue with the other web API. One thing I did have to do though, I don't have it here, do I? Yeah, I don't have it here, so I'm gonna close this. That was that, adding the SDK. And then the other thing I had to do to get it to work was I had to turn off strict mode. And strict mode is, I believe something that only affects development, where like the functions run twice to render components, and it like checks for, I don't remember exactly the details, but I had to disable that or comment that out to get it to work properly. I found like a GitHub issue or something that talked about it, or maybe it was Stack Overflow. So I did that and it worked properly, at least somewhat. And then I was, again, not happy with it. First of all, the audio plays through your web browser, not through your Spotify instance, right? So I didn't like that. But also it just, I don't know. I didn't like how you had to attach the audio or attach the device, and it was kind of weird. So I look back and see if there's any way I can make what I had before better as far as using the web API, and I believe I actually fixed that issue. So it's kind of funny. All I had to do is fix the issue was something I had already tried, but I did it wrong. And what I did was, um, so before I showed in another video, I thought I had to like pause and then play, and that worked as well, but it didn't work great. I don't need that, so I can actually get rid of that right now. Actually, I'll leave that there for now. And then, yeah, so what it was is I had the delay after the currently playing call, when obviously it should be before. Um, so where was it? So yeah, the delay was after this call, but I needed the delay between the initial call for the next track, and it has to wait, delay a little bit, and that's here, and then it could get the currently playing, and that is actually working. And I tested some different delay times. The hundreds of milliseconds was the lowest I did. I've tested. That does seem to work. I think just in case, I'll bump that up to 200. That shouldn't be too bad. And yeah, it's getting the currently playing track, which was the problem I was having. I tried taking this out again just to make sure, and yeah, in fact, it did not work as I want. I think part of that issue could be this command execution order. So if we go um, here, the order of commands is not guaranteed. Commands, da, 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 you can read that. So that might have been part of the issue. I don't know, but let's delete this. But yeah, it seems to work well. And one thing I did try before I tried this was I tried to look through this like recently played. There's another route that gets like the songs that are recently played. I thought maybe that would like have the updated stuff, and whereas the other one didn't. That was actually that's how I was doing it wrong. That was even worse. So it's like paginated. It returns a bunch of results, but um, there is a query you can do for like after a certain time, and I did it based on the current timestamp minus a minute, basically. And actually, this is 10 minutes, but and yeah, it just didn't work well either. So I'm actually gonna get rid of that. And then actually, I'm gonna leave that, and then I'll delete it in a different thing. So yeah, it's working now. So if I change the track, see that one's playing. If I change it now, you can see A New Hope, Influence, and that's the one that's playing. There might be some issues if you try to do it too fast. Let's see. Yeah, so it has all of them. Cool. And then this will again go back to the state and be displayed here. Where it's like song name. The reason I have this is I want to test like a very long song name. I want to test the scrolling and like um, making sure it's not too long in the display. So that's that. Yeah, I guess the next step is just to keep going with this. Seems to work fine. I'm not using the playback SDK anymore. Again, I was not happy with that, how it worked, so I'm glad this is working. At least seems to be working right now. One thing I did want to just show, just to double check. So if I take this delay out now, and I try this again, it should go back to the same issue. So I should see that same one, yeah. So now it's showing the previous one. So the delay actually does work. Um, Again, I just had it in the wrong place. I don't know how that happened, but yeah. Cool. Let's try it one more time. Yep, it's working. Cool. All right. Well, I'm gonna stop there and probably come back and work on it again later. Maybe another day. We'll see. yeah, I just want to go over that I finally got it working kind of how I wanted and how I got it working. So it was basically just a thing that was in the wrong order. And again, I don't know how that happened, but I'm glad I got it working. But yeah, thanks for watching. See you next time.